Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a young man named Ian. Ian was known for his constant chatter. He had a lot of thoughts to share and loved to talk about everything, his opinions, his dreams, his plans, and even things that didn't make much sense. But despite his talkative nature, Ian never seemed to achieve much. He had many ambitions, but they remained just that, ambitions, because he spent so much time speaking about them and not enough time acting on them. In the same village lived an old man named Master Jiro. Jiro was quiet, wise, and respected by everyone. He had seen many seasons change, many people come and go, and many young ones like Ian, full of potential but unable to find success. The villagers admired Master Jiro, but they could never understand why he rarely spoke. He believed in doing rather than saying. One day, Ian, eager to become successful and seeking advice, went to Master Jiro. Master Jiro, I have so many ideas. I want to build a great business, own the best farm, and become the wealthiest man in the village. I know I can do it, but I can never seem to get started. Everyone says I talk too much. What should I do? Ian asked, his voice brimming with excitement. Master Jiro looked at him calmly and replied, Ian, the world is full of talkers. Few are the doers. I will give you a simple task. Go to the river tomorrow and listen. Don't speak a word. Do this for 7 days, and then we will talk again. Ian was puzzled. Listen? What do you mean, master? Just go and listen to the river, Jiro said, his eyes twinkling. The next morning, Ian set out to the river, confused but willing to follow the old man's advice. As he arrived, the sound of rushing water filled his ears. The river was alive, bubbling and gurgling, but Ian remained silent, as instructed. Hours passed. He watched the water flow, the way it moved over rocks, the way it curved and changed direction. He listened to the wind rustling the leaves, the birds calling from above, and even the distant hum of the village. But Ian didn't say a word. On the second day, Ian came back to the river. And the third. And the fourth. Each day, he listened more carefully, observing the small changes in the river's flow, the subtle movements of the creatures around it. The longer he listened, the more he began to notice things he had never paid attention to before. The rocks beneath the water weren't just obstacles, they shaped the path of the current. The trees near the riverbank weren't just scenery, their roots held the soil together and prevented erosion. The birds weren't just singing, they were warning of changes in the weather. Every detail revealed something deeper, something important. On the 7th day, when Ian returned to Master Jiro, he felt different, calmer, wiser, and more focused. Master, I've been listening to the river, just as you said. I see now that speaking too much has kept me from truly understanding the world around me. I see how the river doesn't need to announce its path, it simply follows it. It doesn't argue with the rocks, it moves around them. Master Jiro nodded, a smile creeping onto his face. Exactly. The river doesn't need to speak to make its way. It is the stillness in its flow that creates its power. And so, it is with you. Speak less, and you will find that the world begins to reveal itself to you in ways you never imagined. You don't need to talk about your dreams. You need to listen, observe, and act. Ian's eyes widened with understanding. He thanked Master Jiro and returned to his life with a new perspective. He began to speak less, but when he did speak, it was with purpose. He listened to the opportunities around him, studied the needs of his village, and took action where he saw fit. Slowly but surely, his efforts began to pay off. He built his farm, established his business, and, most importantly, earned the respect of others not through his words, but through his deeds. As the years passed, Ian became known not for his chatter, but for his wisdom. People came to him for advice, not because he spoke the most, but because he understood the art of listening. He had learned the true power of silence, the power to observe, to understand, and to act. And so, Ian lived his life, rich in experiences, and prosperous in ways he had never imagined. He had learned that when you speak less, the world gives you everything you need to succeed.